So for this video, we are doing yet again another quick and dirty deck spotlight so that I can get through some of the decks that I've been playing after the balance patch before I go to QuakeCon, or by the time you're watching this, I might actually be at QuakeCon. I'm trying to schedule these to release throughout the week while I'm traveling, and this is the current version of mid-range Sorcerer that I'm playing. If you follow my channel, watched my other spotlights, I'm a big fan of Sorcerer. It's kind of like my go-to deck. If I ever don't know what to play, I kind of just start with playing Sorcerer because I'm more familiar with this than maybe any other archetype. I've probably got more games on this than any other archetype. It just feels like home. So this is the version I'm currently playing, and I guess we'll explain why. So right now I'm currently running Crown Quartermaster. Sometimes this becomes Firebolt. Honestly, the thing that determines whether or not this is Firebolt is how many Goblin Skulks I'm seeing in the meta. If I'm seeing a lot of Goblin Skulks, this becomes Firebolt because I just need to have an answer for Skulk. Yes, we do have Shrieking Harpy. Yes, we do have Sorcerer's Negation, but sometimes those just aren't enough. Sometimes you also need to throw in Firebolt. As of right now, I'm not seeing a ton of Skulks. The popularity of Halalu has waned an awful lot post-balance patch, so we're going with Crown Quartermaster. Quartermaster is great because it can give you presence on the board if you don't get the ring on your first turn. Sometimes the Steel Dagger is just a little bit of reach, and that's a big deal. Wardcrafter, Daggerfall Mage, basically all your creatures with Ward are typically understated to make up for the fact that they are so resilient with Ward. So being able to even give them one more attack can be a really big deal. Taking Daggerfall from 2 to 3 means it trades up really nicely. It also sometimes, depending on your matchup, means it takes it out of like Grizzly Gourmet range, takes it out of Execute range. So having that dagger is great. 2-drops are pretty straightforward. We're using the new Assassin because the lethal lets it chew through stuff, and the Rally again pumps up some of our ward creatures, and that's a big deal. Barrowstalker is here because it is a decent stat line and it's fantastic against aggro. Because Sorcerer is never gonna like outrun aggro, you have to have a plan for beating control and beating aggro. This is very much a traditional mid-range deck where sometimes you're the beatdown and sometimes you play until you establish a better board than your aggro player, and then you pivot to being the beatdown. Barrowstalker is one of the better tools for allowing you to do that. Harpy's here because of Prophecy and again tempo, slowing down your opponent in those aggro matchups, etc. Negation, one of the best actions in the game. Nukes those Daggerfalls, lets you get through guards, all sorts of things. Wardcrafter, one of the best 2-drops in the game. In my opinion, it might be the second best behind Goblin Skulk. Barrowstalker's up there, but Wardcrafter is pretty staple. Windkeep Spellsword, again, just helps you take control of that field lane. Daggerfall Mage helps you take control of things, value. Dark Guardian is my current one of. Sometimes this becomes a clan Sorcerer. Again, kind of depends on the meta. Lately, because there's been less Halalu and I haven't been seeing a ton of tokens, it's been harder to kill 3 creatures in one turn. So just having the stat stick that is of the 2/5 has been helpful. The downside is it is a skeleton. There's still a fair amount of Dawnbreaker running around, so sometimes that comes back to bite you. This is a flex spot. Like I said, it can change. Hunting Spirit, fantastic 3-drop. Young Mammoth, fantastic 3-drop. Bleak Coast, 4-drop. All 3 of these just kind of represent big stats. They're your classic endurance cards, right? Stats for the cost. All of these are designed so that you can play them, hopefully trade into something, have your creature survive, and that's one of the ways you start winning that aggro matchup, is they're hitting you in the face, you're hitting their creatures, so you're sacrificing tempo against their life total, but you get to a point where hopefully they've got like, you know, 1 creature on the board, but you might have 4 because you've been making value trades, and then that's where you pivot and you try to essentially just finish them off in like a 2-turn clock. These are all those creatures that kind of help you do that. They're big enough that they can make trades and survive. Lightning Bolt because, you know, reach, prophecy, etc. I'm still running Shadowfen Priest. Not really a ton of supports in the meta, though Justin Larson played support mage a while back, and I had a week where I played against like 5 of them. But this is almost exclusively here for the silence. Yes, we have Sorcerer's Negation, but I have been seeing a lot of mid-range battle mage and Hands of Daggett galore lately. So if you don't have an answer for Breton Conjurer, Hand of Daggett, the silence is a big help. So I'm still running Priest. This is another flex spot. Whiterun Protector. I can't say enough about this card. It's so good in all of your matchups as a Sorcerer player. 5 is the perfect price for a 6/6 guard. Anytime you play this, it's almost always going to become a 6/6 guard. That's great against aggro. It's a big stat line against control, so if they don't have hard removal, you're probably punching them in the face for 6. High King Emmerich, obvious include and staple. Tel'Vos Magister, yes, got a little bit of an adjustment recently. Still great. In all honesty, you're not playing this like a true control deck. You don't need to get multiple face wards. A lot of times just 1 or 2 is enough for you to have got the value from the effect on this. And I'm going to be honest, I would consider playing this card if it was just straight a 5/4 ward for 6, because sometimes that's all you need. It's very resilient against control decks. It's very good against aggro decks. It does everything you want here. Right now I'm running Worm King's Agent. It's the beginning of the ladder as I'm recording this, so people have been playing a lot more aggro. This card is fantastic against aggro, again, for that pivot style lineup. A lot of times by the term I'm playing this is when I want to start to pivot. So if I've been whittling away at their board and I've got some creatures left over from value trades, it's a great time for me to usually kill whatever their lone creature is, or one of their like 1 or 2 that are left with Worm King's Agent. Get 6 and stats on the board, plus a guard to help be even more defensive, and that's when I can attack with my other creatures. Again, kind of pivot. That's usually right around the turn I'm looking to do it. And then Uncano for finisher and reach. Again, this is a playstyle thing. I know a lot of people swear by Bone Colossus, the Bone Daddy. If you want to run Bone Daddy, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm routinely finding myself getting more value out of Worm King's Agent, playing it as a tempo card and a pivot card. Yeah, can't say enough about it. So this is the version of Sorcerer that I am currently playing. I've been having a lot of success with it. So without further ado, let's jump into some games and see how it does. All right, we are up against Daggett. And yeah, okay. We're paired up just a little bit. I kind of don't want any of these because this is also a reactive 2-drop and a prophecy. That's much better in terms of the 2-drop. Getting the Uncano's not great. But yeah, holy paired up Batman. Here, I'll mouse over this. As I film this, I'm only sitting at rank 4 at the moment, the lady. Being paired against legends. I slay the unworthy. It's gotta feel good, right? The game thinks, hey, you can handle this. And if I'm being honest, the game's not wrong. The game is not wrong.
Careful there, friend.
Alright. We'll go ahead and drop a ward on it. Drop it like it's warded. Does he have another harpy?
By the 8th, they will meet their makers. Should have been more words. Your blood will spill.
We'll play a troll. He's gonna eat this for sure, but at least the troll says if he uses the 4 Magicka to retone this, the troll trades in.
If I fall, the hist will reclaim. I stand ready.
Alright. Gives him a lot of ways.
Your blood will spill. Careful there, friend.
A lot of ways to kill our poor troll. Now again, he does have the tome, so He has that as an option, but at least here, because of the Slay, he has to do something. Maybe he runs Skaven. Alright, he's just going to run the book and then draw 2 cards. Fair. It's a great way to play that for my opponent. Our turn's pretty straightforward, though. We're going to make ourselves a nice 6/6 with guard to protect our little dudes. With the ring, if they develop weenies to fight this, we could Worm King it.
If I fall, the hist will reclaim me.
Alright, not bad, not bad. So, this eats this, and we are in fact going to go ahead get that Worm King going. I like the Magister top deck. It's a good play next turn. We may have to Harpy, in which case we hope to draw something to pair with Harpy.
Just give me a name.
Your time has come.
Yeah. We'll swing with that.
Just give me a name.
Could push 5 damage and Harpy 1. Which I kind of like. The other option was we could have thrown a dagger on this and traded, but I think I like just pushing the damage because with Encano available to us next turn, feels correct. We're going to Harpy this one. Now, if they play Unstoppable Rage, we don't want to give them too much value here, so we're going to do this over here. Save. Maybe we don't save the dagger. Let's think about this for a moment. Because if we want to play the dagger to push for lethal, actually we're going to put that there. And here's why. If they rage here, they could get as much as like 3 contracts.
It's nothing personal.
Which would then maybe, if they ran Crushing Blow or Reverberating Strike, allow them to kill something. The point is we need 3 damage to go through. Alright, so we're fine. With the Encano, we blocked it up. This was a great game.
I have many important things on my mind.
Alright, navigated that pretty well. Let's see how we can do in another game. Alright, we are going first against Crusader. And this could be a little rough, depending on what we draw. Oh, that's actually a pretty solid opener. Even better, perfect. We want the Prophecy back in our deck. We got a 1-drop.
I keep a spare blade in my boot.
We have proactive 2-drop, reactive card if necessary. This can be reactive if we need to trade, like...
My arrows shall fly true.
Oh, okay. Not a card I was expecting to see, so bravo, sir. Bravo to you.
Careful there, friend.
I mean, it's gonna feel like a waste of a ward, but gotta get rid of that one way or the other. Bravo to my opponent. That's a very mighty ally. And he has the Nord. All right. Like I'm not even angry. I'm just impressed.
By the 8th, they will meet their
So we're gonna take some damage here, but we're choosing to develop the Daggerfall instead of the Mammoth. If we play Mammoth, you can trade in, get 2 damage in. This we can slap a dagger on it. Oh, that's interesting. Because I think that this actually wants to go to our hand. Because we're just going to trade into that. There's no point in shackling it. And the 2 on body for free right now kind of doesn't matter. Yeah.
I will push them back.
Yeah, so we would much rather
I keep a spare blade in
we would much rather do something like that, because we're going to win this by depriving our opponent of resources and then pivoting to a victory here. So
Their defenses crumble.
okay, it's a lot of elites, I'll give you that. You have lit me up. We want to negate this so that we can trade into it. But we also want to play this Dark Guardian, I think.
Do your
So
worst.
we're just gonna trade, drop that. So unless he has another elite, he can't self-trigger. Crusader's Assault there would be kind of a bad top deck for us because it would turn into a bunch more cards. Absent that, we're in a pretty good spot to starve him out of resources going forward.
The Nords must take back Skyrim.
Alright, so he's doing that so we can play a 5/5 next turn. I can respect that.
Careful there.
Here's what we're gonna
friend.
do. We're gonna do that because he's gonna play this 5/5. So if he plays it field, we can trade into it with the Daggerfall and then Worm King Agent. If he plays it into the Shadow Lane, then we could Shadow Fen it and then Dagger and trade in. So
You've not seen
I very much like this play because it gives us a guard here. We'll wait one more turn because then we can play Whiterun Protector, and then when this breaks a rune, we'll have guards in both lanes. Scratch that. We're gonna wait one more turn because we don't even want to like toy with the idea of him getting a
Your
card.
blood will spill.
We're not going to take him down because, again, a lit. So if he does manage to draw his last one. It's kind of a shame that we had to give him
We stand united.
the one card there, but... Alright, well, he gets one anyway. Fine, sir. Fine.
the city is safe.
We're going to go ahead and go with that. And probably this tome, but we'll wait and see. Kind of what happens with prophecies here.
Your blood will spill.
Your time has come.
Alright, so
I like our odds.
tier is a problem. Tier might be the only way that we could have lost that because of the breakthrough and the size of the body.
Close ranks. Let nothing through. Come at me.
So far, so good, though. I was really worried that there might be a silence effect for the 6/6. Tier goes over the top. Like that sort of thing, but... right now, we can just
We'll hold, no matter what.
win with what we got.
Time to fight. Talos.
Alright.
Your
So,
time has
this
come.
chews through here. And then we can play Windkeep and High King Emmerich.
It's damned uncomfortable.
Victory is yours.
And there you have it. So we survived the aggressive onslaught. Pivoted when we needed to, got a victory. There you have Sorcerer.